Jonas Group Water. They are the privilege of introducing Petty Officer First Class, Steve Gunnick. Steve Gunnick enlisted in the U.S. Navy in 1978. He started boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois in October 1978. He attended Navy Nuclear Propulsion School in Orlando, Florida, followed by 6 months of prototype on-the-job style training in Idaho Falls, Idaho. After almost 2 years of schooling, Steve Gunnick was assigned to the Fast Attack Center Marine, SSN. 6'9".
You just couldn't be without me for a minute, so I had to come here.
Yeah, it's a little busted.
Yes, so you're thinking back to a case that goes out again, but makes it to restart. So can we, I don't. You don't want to hear the audience out of any of this program, do you?
Never.
Thank you, Eric.
So, today I have the privilege of introducing Petty Officer First Class, Steve Gunnick. Steve Gunnick enlisted in the U.S. Navy in 1978. He started boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois on October 1978. He attended Navy Nuclear Propulsion School in Orlando, Florida, followed by 6 months of prototype on-the-job style training in Idaho Falls, Idaho. After almost 2 years of schooling, Steve Gunnick was assigned to the Fast Attack Submarine SSN 698, the Bremerton, being built in Groton, Connecticut. He arrived just in time for the first deployment, the initial sea trials, and the commissioning of the boat into the U.S. fleet. Steve Gunnick completed his Navy time as an E6, Petty Officer First Class. Along the way, he completed his Navy time as an E6 Petty Officer First Class, and the Bremerton's leading engineering laboratory technician, and the Machinery Division leading Petty Officer. The Navy enabled Steve Gunnick's career in radiation safety. Along the way, Steve Gunnick engaged in the supervision, training, and management of people who provide radiological safety for the Department of Energy's Hanford Nuclear Reservation. This work led Steve into the emergency response program for anything associated with radiation and nuclear weapons. Steve was a manager for response team under the U.S. Department of Energy. Steve Gunnick also spent time with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, developing training programs for the Border Patrol, U.S. Customs inspections, and state and local law enforcement. The programs involved the detection of illegal and illicit radioactive materials and was focused on nuclear weapons, including dirty bombs. Steve Gunnick is now working for the Veterans Administration Medical Center and Hospitals, in the Maintenance Department Work Order Coordinating Clerk. His biggest desire is to use what he learned to help others. Once a teammate, always a teammate. Please help me in welcoming Petty Officer First Class, Steve Gunnick.
The klaxon sounded. Everyone on the ship knew exactly what was coming. There was a dramatic pause in activity. Commanding officer came over the broadcast system and said, "Run silent. Rig ship for running silent." Was this a drill? Was this for real? I learned later we were about to enter a harbor near Rybovac in Kamchatka. We were entering Soviet territory. It was a difficult transition for us, and run silent we did. We all played a part on that submarine that day. My job, get the engine room running. Make sure it was running as quiet and as silent as it could. No activity throughout the ship. Unnecessary personnel were banned to their bunks. As we learned later, we had 5 inches of water, 5 feet of water, between our hull and the bottom of the harbor. Within 15 feet above the submarine, we had a Russian warship. We transitioned underneath that Russian warship as quiet as we could to get into that harbor. Our mission? Record all the sounds and noises of the Russian fleet including the submarines at a base known as the Russian Hornet's Nest. It took us 2 days. We remained undetected in that Russian base. We recorded the ships coming and going. We photographed them from underwater. And when it was time for us to leave, we found another Russian warship to follow, silent. We made it back into open water without being detected. We made it back to home port to deliver exactly the intelligence that was required of us to help the rest of the fleet to recognize the Soviets when they came and they went. I sat in that engine room for those 2 days, quietly as I could, making sure we didn't drop anything on the deck. Any noise, any sound would be detected by the Soviets. It gave me time to think for just a few minutes. What was it like? A gangly old high school boy in the Navy. A young guy who didn't have much of a sense of where he was headed or what he was going to do. And here I was, running an engine room in an area controlled by the Soviet Navy. It took teamwork for us. Every man on that submarine played a part. We were individuals, one person on one ship in one branch of the service for our country. But playing our part, each doing what we could to remain silent, operating our equipment as efficiently as we can, securing anything that would create unnecessary noise. Incidentally, that meant no showers. But that's what we did. It was comforting to know that we had accomplished a mission. It was nice to know we were able to get in and to get out. But it took teamwork, each one of us doing our job to achieve the goal. Thinking back, I wondered, what is teamwork? What does it take to work together as a team? And what has the military taught me to do? Well, the first thing that I learned in boot camp was I am not alone. I have to pull my own weight and do my job, but I have to watch out for those around me, my shipmates. And I have to make sure that not only am I competent to do my work, capable and ready to accomplish what's necessary, but I had to look at my teammates as well. Where they needed help, I needed to lend a hand. And when I needed help, they were there to help me as well. It's an amazing thing that we learn in the military. We take our time, we leave our family, we leave our brothers and sisters, our parents, aunts and uncles, our friends, high school acquaintances, and we delve into something that's totally different. I remember my first night at boot camp. I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't imagine living in an open barracks, 50 bunks lined up in a row, people I had never met, never seen, and yet here we all were for the same purpose, to accomplish the same goal, to achieve the freedoms that our country is known for. I cried that night. I went to my drill sergeant and I walked in his office and I said, I don't understand what's going on here. Why am I crying? What is this all about? He was a wise sailor. He said, it'll pass. This is just all a very new experience for you. Let me lead. You follow, and we'll get you where you need to be. 3 years later, there we were in Russian waters, taking pictures of their ships, listening to their submarines, providing valuable intelligence to the folks back in Washington, D.C. Interesting, isn't it, how life takes us in different places, how it brings us challenges, how it makes us better. The military did that for me. It gave me discipline. It taught me who I was. It taught me I could do more than I thought I could. that I could achieve more than I thought I could, that I was capable of handling stressful situations that I never would have thought of beforehand. It gave me a sense of belonging. It taught me my country is bigger than me. It's bigger than our ship. It's bigger than the Navy. But doing our part, everyone was able to contribute to the overall mission and the freedoms that we enjoy. That stint in the military touched my life forever. I don't think I'll ever be the same, and I never want to be. I never want to go back to that gangly, awkward boy that I was graduating high school. I want to continue to serve my country the best way I can. And to do that, I choose to serve those around me. It's an honor, isn't it, for us to work with each other, to help each other. Small things, perhaps for a day, perhaps for a week, perhaps for a career, but we're there for each other. That's a camaraderie that we appreciate, that we love, that we will never give up. I think if you talk to any veteran that's here today, and you ask them, what was it like? How did you serve? Did you have a similar experience? I think we can all come back and say, yes, there are some similarities to our service. We gave of ourselves. We watched out for those around us. Together, we achieved what we could not achieve alone. And we did it because we want to preserve the freedoms that we have. We want to preserve the freedom of choice that we have in our country. We want to preserve the opportunity to be an individual who contributes to the overall benefit of society. We want to preserve the opportunity that we have to live this life. It's an honor and it's a privilege, and it comes with responsibility. Responsibility. That's a word, too, that sticks with me a lot, because it starts with us as individuals. When we talk about teamwork and we think about sports teams, we think about everybody is out on the floor contributing, trying to make a basket, trying to make a touchdown. Those are things we do as a team, but the team is not successful unless each individual does their part, pulls their weight, and is accountable to do what they've been taught and trained to do. May we never lose a sense of accountability for who we are and for what we do. May we always look around us and say, I can help. I can assist. I can lend a hand. I can look, as I did with my shipmates in that Russian port, and make sure that no one is making a mistake or going where they shouldn't go. It's an amazing thing. I'd like to spend just a minute and thank the veterans who are in this room. Thank them for the sacrifice that they made, a sacrifice that they gave to this country so we could enjoy the freedoms, so we could sing the songs and salute the flag, so we could enjoy the opportunity for us to make choices in this country. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the parents and the teachers. They put up with our decisions. They dealt with us being on deployment. The unknown, when are they coming back? How will they come back? Difficult times. I know my mom had a very difficult time with me being in the Navy. That was not her choice for me, not what she wanted. But she suffered through it, she lived through it. We rejoiced together when it was finished, when I was home together. Those were good times for us as a family. The teachers I mentioned just a minute ago, you're providing the foundation that we need in order to think critically about what's going on around us, helping us to understand the world that we live in, the geography, the history, the geology, the science, the arts. These are the things that we learn, and these things that we learn are the things that we apply when we think critically about where we are, what we're doing, and how we're doing it. It was the military that crystallized for me how to approach those problems and how to look at those things. That discipline was good. I appreciate it greatly. I appreciate the opportunity to serve. It's interesting, too, to take just a minute and think about what our government gives back to us. I've had a marvelous time as a result. The Navy taught me a great deal about things nuclear, radiological. It gave me a career in safety, helping others work around the hazardous materials in the nuclear weapons complex so they could do so safely and without harm. Because of my military training, I've had opportunity to teach security experts at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. I've had opportunity to go to St. Petersburg, Russia, and teach the Russians the basics of nuclear security. I've had the opportunity to teach the Australians. I've worked with the Mexican country FBI, the equivalent of their FBI, in teaching them as well. It's bigger than us, isn't it? It's one guy, one day, teaching one class. But it's that one class that we bring from our one country, the United States of America, a country that stands for freedom and honor, and a country that I am proud to have served, and a country that I thank for all that they've done for me in the brief time that I was able to give back to them. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share a short little bit of what my life was like in the military. And thank you all, veterans, for what you have given to your country. I am proud to have served with you. You are my teammates.
Thank you, Steve Bennett, for your inspiring work and for your service. We appreciate your time today and know that we have gained a deeper appreciation for the words of service through your words. Now I'd like to introduce the Edgemont High School Choir to sing O America.